Hi, welcome along to AFTV. It's time to preview the game. Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur in the Carabao Cup happening today. It's a huge game. Now, listen, ordinarily, Carabao Cup, even though we've got to this stage, the quarterfinals, we'd still be looking at it and saying, listen, ahead of us is a busy Christmas programme, and maybe we should rest up a load of players for this type of game and, go with a half-decent team to try and push on in this competition. However, all bets are off in this one. It's Spurs, and we've got to win it. We do not want to see a weakened team full of loads of youngsters. And you know what? I can't remember how many years ago it was now, but I remember going to White Hart Lane and Arsene Wenger played a weakened team with loads of kids in it. Tottenham went full on and they smashed us to pieces, 5-1. It was humiliating. And we certainly don't want to see nothing like that again today. Also, we've got to remember the fact that, we lost at the weekend and we want to get back to winning ways. Spurs didn't lose. They didn't look convincing. They only got a 1-0 last-minute winner over Burnley, but they did win. So, again, Spurs come to the Emirates on a high, and Arsenal are going to have to pick themselves up after the defeat. But there's no better way to pick yourself up after a defeat, the one that we had to Southampton, than by playing against Tottenham Hotspurs. All bets are off, right? It's a big one. And listen, it's a chance as well to progress in this trophy. If we win the game, we're through to the semi-finals. So that as well will be sweet. But it's all about this game today. Now, what sort of team will Arsenal put out? And already Unai Emery said in his press conference that, this is not a game where he's going to be playing loads of kids. This is a serious game. And we know that Tottenham are going to be coming for revenge. Who can forget the game a few weeks ago when we played them? We beat them by 4-2, went 1-0 up. They went 2-1. Eric Dyer shushing the Arsenal crowd, nearly caused a riot. But when we went on to win the game by 4-2, and it was an amazing game, amazing atmosphere. And I expect an amazing atmosphere again today. Spurs have got an allocation of 5,000 fans, so they'll be bringing more than what they'd normally bring for a Premier League game. So the atmosphere is going to be cracking, without a doubt in there. And Spurs will be roared on by a bit more support than what they'd normally have. But it's still going to be huge. It's still going to be a massive game for Arsenal. Now, on injuries, there's news coming out of Spurs yesterday that Harry Kane didn't train yesterday because he's got a cold. And Mauricio Pochettino saying that, listen, he's a doubt for the game. We're going to assess him ahead of the game, but he may not play because of this cold. I'm not buying into it. I'm sorry. I've heard it all before. How many games do you see Arsenal we got and we're playing against a team, and before the game you hear about all these injuries and etc., and then all of a sudden they all turn up. I saw it the other day against when we played Man United. This player's going to be out, that player's going to be out. Miraculously, they recovered and they were playing in the game. So I very much doubt that Harry Kane, the guy who always scores against us, will miss this game for a cold. Or even if he does have a cold, they'll probably have him on the bench or something like that. So Harry Kane will probably feature in the game. Jan Vertonghen is going to be out. Now, I'm not sure if that's even if that's a good thing, because against us in the first game, he was dreadful. So, but Vertonghen's going to be out. I think Davinson Sanchez is going to be back for them. I think they've got a doubt over Serge Aurier, but Trippier's back. So, listen, Spurs have got a decent squad, and they will put out a very strong team. And it was interesting that Christian Eriksen, when he was being interviewed on Saturday after the Burnley game, he was asked about the Arsenal game, will you be going there for revenge? And he said yes. So they're going to be up for it. They're going to be up for it. And listen, it's all you'd expect in a North London derby. On the Arsenal injury front, well, we saw that at the weekend it was defensively awful. And one of the reasons there was mitigating circumstances, was that we didn't have any centre-backs really playing in the game, apart from Laurent Koscielny, who'd only just come back after months and months of injury, and it showed, you know what I mean? You could kind of put him at fault for all of the goals, in a way. So will Laurent Koscielny, though, still be forced to play? Because there's still an injury doubt over Mustafi with the injury that he picked up in the previous game. The good news is, though, is that Socrates will be back. Socrates, of course, he was faced a one-game ban, and we really paid the price for it because he's been excellent this season. But he should be back. So Socrates will be back. Kolasinac is still a doubt, and it looks like he will struggle to get back in time for this game. Maybe the manager might look at it and say, listen, let me hold him back because he's only just coming back from that. He has like a tight fire, I think it was, before the Southampton game that kept him out. Bellerin, I don't think is going to make the game either. Again, he got injured in the last game. It doesn't look like the Bellerin injury is going to keep him out for as long as what was first thought. But again, I probably don't think that Unai Emery is going to risk playing Hector Bellerin in this game. So, injuries, still a few injury problems there, and probably won't be as strong as the team that we played against Spurs the first time round. But still, I'd expect a pretty strong team to be out. And I'll put a little team together, which I think the manager should go for. And that's Petr Cech in goal. And, it's a chance for Cech to establish himself back in the team because Leno, he didn't have a great game in the first game against Tottenham. He let in that Dyer goal, which a lot of people felt well, he should have saved that. And he didn't cover himself in glory with the final goal against Southampton. Although, listen, he's been keeping very well this season. And I think, most Arsenal fans have been very, very happy with Bernd Leno. But Cech's been coming in for these games, and I'd expect Cech to come in for this one as well. And listen, Cech is a good goalkeeper. It does mean, though, that Tottenham will see an opportunity to press more on Cech and maybe get a bit more joy in that area. So Cech is going to have to be on his game when it comes to playing out from the back. Now, right back, I've gone for Lichtsteiner, but again, he's an injury doubt as well. It's not 100% sure that Lichtsteiner will be playing in this game. I think if he does play, he's going to get a yellow card against Spurs. He'll be up for the fight. So that's why I wouldn't mind him in. But I think it's going to be Lichtsteiner or Maitland-Niles there. But I'd go Lichtsteiner if he's fit, but he may not be. Socrates has got to come in. Now, it looks like Koscielny will have to come back in again for this game because, again, we're just so light in that centre-back area. We really do need to go out and buy a centre-back in January. It's an absolute must. And then I'd have Monreal at left-back, who came back and looked quite decent coming back. But I think he's better as a left-back than a wing-back. And again, for me, we're going to have to go with a 4. If we haven't got the right and proper personnel to play that 3 at the back, I don't think we should play it. And I'd go for a 4. Midfield, Torreira goes without question. Put Xhaka back into his right position, which is in the midfield. He was not comfortable at all playing in that 3. And I don't think we should try and attempt to play that against Tottenham. We'll get ripped to shreds if we try and do that. And then I'd have Mkhitaryan in on the right-hand side. He scored 2 goals, so his confidence will be up. So throw him in. Ozil in the middle. Now, a lot of people will be saying, what? No. He gave away the goal. Listen, he did make a little error. Slight error for the final goal against Southampton. He has been out injured, but I think he'll be fired up for a game like Tottenham. And I think, listen, I'd start Ozil in this game. It'd be a choice between Ozil and Ramsey because, again, Ramsey's going to be fit. But I think I'd rather have Ramsey on the bench as somebody who can come off and possibly change the game. So Ozil on the left-hand side now. I'm going Aubameyang on the left. We've got to get our goal scorers on the pitch for this game right from the start, in my opinion. So I'm going Aubameyang and Lacazette up front. Let's pressure Spurs right from the start. Let's really, really go for it. And that'll be a really, really strong team. And I know we got a tough game on Saturday. Burnley will be tough. We saw what they did against Spurs. They'll come, they'll park the bus. They'll be really give us a hard time. They'll be full of, having a rest the whole week, and we wouldn't have done, and we would have exerted a lot in this game. But listen, it's Tottenham Hotspur at home. And as I said, it'll be good for the feel-good factor of the team after that defeat. Be great to get back on track with a win, beating Spurs, knocking them out of the Carabao Cup, and us progressing in it. So, what do you guys think? I'd really, really like to know from you guys, especially what team you would go with for the game. You've seen my team. Let me just run through it one more time. Cech, Lichtsteiner, Socrates, Koscielny, Monreal. That's the defence. Torreira, Xhaka, and then Mkhitaryan, Ozil, Aubameyang, And then up front, Lacazette. I think that team is good enough to beat Spurs. It will be a close game. They will come for revenge, but we got to send them back empty-handed.